Swede Ralston is a sort of airshow pilot we don't see much of anymore. Active in the Pacific Northwest at a time when a single pilot was likely to fly several different aircraft during the course of a single show, Swede earned a reputation as an airshow showman in great stick in an astounding collection of aircraft, from the P-40 Warhawk and the P-38 Lightning to the T-6 Texan and Stearman to the Cessna 152 Aerobat and J-3 Cub. In addition to standard aerobatics, Swede performed a car-to-plane transfer act, comedy acts, and whatever else he was asked to do to help make the show successful.
We tried to make that airplane as bad as it could be. We had a Coca-Cola sign for a firewall, and we made everything just awful. We had a bomb on the engine that would go up and take off, and we'd stop, and the guy on the saddle would always jump off and run, and we'd go get him and drag him back. And it was just a fun thing that the crowd kind of liked.
But in his day, it wasn't enough to fly a half a dozen different airplanes. Every time Swede flew a show, he'd send the organizers a detailed procedure checklist with specific instructions for everything from publicity and advertising to ticket sales and spectator automobile traffic management. His dashing good looks were a dependable source of front-page cover stories for many of the shows he flew in. And sometimes he'd even sell airplane rides before and after the show. A well-known crop duster, flight instructor, and FBO operator in his native Oregon, Ralston will be perhaps best remembered for the time he flew through the blimp hangar in Tillamook, Oregon.
Tell me about how the whole Tillamook fly-through happened, how it came about, how they asked you to do it, and what it felt like to go through that building.
Well, it's probably a rare privilege to get to go through it. However, the way it happened, when we were scheduling the show, and I don't remember the name of the guy, whoever had charge of it, he said, well, we want you over here with your show on certain days, but we're not going to pay you if you don't fly to the hangar. And I thought he was just kidding.
The home of the world's largest wood frame hangars, built for World War II era Navy blimps, Tillamook wanted a special kind of performance from Swede.
So I said, well, that's no problem. You guys just open the doors and pull all the ropes and wires off the side, and I'll fly through the hangar.
Swede says he forgot about his deal, but the Tillamook promoters remembered.
Well, about halfway through the show, he came around and he said, hey, the doors are both open now and all the ropes are pulled back. And he said, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to fly through the hangar.
And he did, a feat captured in this photo that hangs in the lobby of Aero Air.
And towards the end of the show, I just took off and flew through the hangar, and we never even had a picture of it, I didn't think. 17 years later, a guy that owned a restaurant in Tillamook come in and he said, I'm closing up my restaurant. I've had this picture on the wall for 17 years. Do you want it?
Well, I've known Swede from his airshow activities years ago, flying a P-40. And Swede had no peer.